Well, hey, everybody. I am so excited to introduce you to my friend, Angie. Angie, how's it going?
Hello, good. How are you?
Good. Welcome to Becoming Me. And I'm so excited for Becoming Me to hear your story today, who you are, who you're becoming, and for us to be challenged on our own becoming journeys as well. So just thanks for sharing. And let's kick it off with the most fun question. Who is Angie?
Oh, man. Okay, so I guess there's a lot to that question, but and you asked to kind of share something fun about me. Oh boy, I don't know. There's not too much fun, but I grew up on a country road my whole life, so I love the country. Yeah, just a small town girl. I love to garden. Oh my gosh, I love to grow anything.
That's awesome.
Something fun is I have 5 boys who are crazy and active, but I love it. I've been blessed. They're pretty good. So, yeah, that's kind of
That's
it.
awesome. I love it. And you're in Utah, which is beautiful. And did you grow up in Utah as well?
No, I actually grew up in Alamo on a ranch.
That's awesome.
Nevada. Yep.
Very cool. That's amazing. Before we started today's interview, we were talking about when I lived in Vegas and would frequent Utah for hikes, and it's beautiful out there.
Yeah, we live right by Kolob Canyon, so we love to hike up there.
Oh, it's amazing. I miss hikes. We don't have that in Florida. It's flat.
Really?
Yeah. Just everything's flat, but we do have the beach, so I'll take the beach.
You can go on beach runs. That's
exactly.
Yeah.
Well, let's right now just unpack your story. Who is Angie? What has made you who you are today?
Okay, so I apologize beforehand if I get emotional. I think I'm so glad that you invited me to do this because I think it's good to actually share and outwardly express your story. Yeah. And I think it helps me heal and understand everything a lot better as well. So and there's so many aspects as to any story. So today I'm going to try to focus on my journey and kind of finding my new harmony throughout the whole process. So it started out, our family, we moved out of the city. We had just had a baby. Life was good, right? Mm-hmm. I feel so blessed, and I was gardening and doing the things that I enjoyed. And then guess what happens? My little boy that was 2 at the time, he struggled a little bit throughout his life, just with health stuff, just the common stuff, allergies, eczema really bad, asthma. He wasn't saying sounds, so they thought that he was autistic, and that's a whole other topic. But when he was 2, his kidneys completely failed, completely shut down. And so he was flighted, and they started him on dialysis, and it was just a big thing of trying to figure out what was wrong with him, and come to find out it was autoimmune disease related. And so his body was just confused and attacking itself, and his diagnosis, he ended up having a really rare kidney disease, and like I said, autoimmune. But the doctors gave us no hope. Told us that there was no way to turn off this, his just attacking, we won't get into the whole medical side of it, but so at first it was just a huge shock. I think you go through the first initial shock of your life changing drastically, and then for me, I got in survival mode, big time. So the doctors gave us no hope, no answers, except for tons of prescriptions. And they told us that would only last a short while to help him. So I knew I had to do something. And I was just trying to keep him alive. I would stay up all night, studying, researching, reading other people's stories, trying to figure out what I could do, and taking him into doctor's appointments. And all of this became a lot of weight on my shoulders. I literally had his life in my hands every single day. And what I did reflected on how he did. And I kept thinking, like, help would come. You know, you have people who love you and you love them, and you always think if something bad happens that they would be there for you, and they weren't. And I also want to mention that I have a very loving husband, but he was going through stuff himself. He was having to worry about the financial side. And so I literally was alone in my fight, and I didn't want attention. It wasn't that at all. I just needed the physical help. I had 5 little boys, and I just remember not having clean socks for them to go to school. And I remember, because I was dealing with everything else, and when the alarm would go off in the morning, I just remember closing my eyes so tight, just wishing that it would all go away, because I had 5 hungry boys that I was going to have to feed in a couple minutes. So just the weight of everything weighed heavily on me. And let's see, I have notes because I knew I was going to veer off. Okay, so, but with a lot of hard work, good news is we were able to get him in remission, and he was able to do better. So once Blake started doing better, that's his name, Blake, I did this. I just spiraled down, because then I was able to allow myself to feel, and I mourned my old life. And I also got super depressed because I didn't understand why those that were supposed to be there for me abandoned me when I needed them the most, even when I asked. And that's what I'm super passionate about too, is there is thousands of people in this world that feel the same way that I felt, because doctors don't understand. Chronic illness is a very lonely journey. And we're leaving those people high and dry because they look okay, but they're not, and they need us. So then I started to try to work through all of those feelings and thoughts and the hurt. I wasn't angry, I was hurt, and I had a lot of pain. But the good news is, I read this somewhere, that when you hit rock bottom, you get to choose who you want to be. I probably have mascara.
You look great.
As you rebuild yourself, I got to choose who I wanted to be. And so it took a little bit of figuring that out, because I got super low. I've never said this out loud before, but when I was in the trenches, I didn't want to commit suicide, but I just wanted it to go away. So every time I got in the car, I just begged, like, please wreck. I just want to wreck so that I can be done. I just can't do this anymore. I wanted my kids to be okay, but then I realized, you know what? They need me. And so I can be strong for them. And it just took day by day. I got through each single day, and then I'm where I'm at now. And God has blessed me all throughout the way. I have gained so much compassion and understanding. And yeah, I truly just want to help people and bring hope. So I choose hope.
Love it. I love that. I love even just how you remind us that, you know, when somebody is going through something, it's so easy to forget or not show up. And it's easy to say the words, I'm there for you. But then our actions are really what count in those moments, and how now you get to be that for other people, both in your online social media presence and then the people in your physical presence as well. If you were, you know, with another woman and she's on her own becoming journey, what would you say to encourage her?
Well, I'll tell you a little story that helped me. You know, when there's those defining moments.
Oh, yeah.
This was one for me. It was a warm spring day, so it was about a year ago. And I took my 2 little ones on a 4-wheeler ride. And I just felt so much peace because I had my hands on the handlebars and my baby had his hands there. And then my other boy, Blake, who had been sick, had his hands there. And I just I was cupping their hands, and God spoke straight through me. And he said, even though you have been physically alone through this, just like you have them, you haven't left them, you have them. I have you. So right then I knew I wasn't alone. I knew that no matter how low you get, he is always there, and he's there to build you up. He's there to help you out of that trench. And so I would just say, allow him to guide you and help you and be there with you.
Oh, that's so good. I love what you said too earlier about when you hit rock bottom, you get to choose who you're going to be. And I know that's true for my story as well. A couple summers ago, I had my own rock bottom moment. I didn't know what direction I wanted to go in. And my dad looked me in the eyes and was like, you know who you want to be. You just have to choose to be her. And so choosing to be who we know we want to be, you knew you wanted to be that strength for your kids, that safe place, and that fighter for them. And you rose and chose to be that woman. And then I like your terminology too, of in the trenches, and that God has you. You're not alone in it. Like, oh, your story is so inspiring. You are the definition of a warrior, for sure.
Yeah. Well, and I do know that like when I would pray about it and just be like, okay, so you've given me this, what do I do with it? And it was always share your story and teach. And so that's what I've tried to do. Even at the time though, I'm like, me teach? A mess right now. But that's what's helped me heal as well. So just having trust and faith and knowing that this is where you're being led. And
I love it.
It's been amazing. It's been quite a process, but
absolutely. I love that you're sharing your story too, so others who are going through something similar or their own trench can then hear the encouragement that you're not alone. God has you. And there are other people who are going through really difficult valleys too. And in the midst of it, choose who you want to be. That's awesome. Angie, thank you so much for sharing your story, who you are, and really wrestling through the pain of your story and then sharing it, the vulnerability in that. It's a big deal. So thank you. And for those of you who are watching, we'll have links to Angie's Instagram and ways you can connect with her. So I know you share so many inspiring things, and I just even love your Instagram handle, as I told you earlier. So you guys can connect with her there and be reminded every single day that you're not alone and we can always choose hope. So thank you so much.
Perfect. Thank you. Thanks for having me.